Hi everyone, this is Sun and Belle. Today we're going to be reviewing Minari. Let's get right into it.
So Minari is a 2020 film written and directed by Lee Isaac Chung. It is a semi-autobiographical account of the director's own life.
Really?
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that while watching it either, but
Okay.
yeah, so you'll notice that a lot of the themes and events actually are inspired by his own life.
Wow, okay.
So director Lee Isaac Chung is an American director, but he is the son of Korean immigrant parents.
Just like us.
Just like
But
us.
daughters.
He himself was born in Denver, Colorado in 1978, but then he moved to a rural farm in Arkansas. That's significant because Minari is about a Korean American family that's trying to make it work in a rural farm in Arkansas in the 1980s. This movie stars actor Steven Yeun, who you'll recognize from Walking Dead and Korean movie Burning, Han Ye-ri, Youn Yuh-jung.
Oh, who plays the grandma?
Yes, the best character. And American actor Will Patton.
Now, this film actually had its world premiere at the Sundance Film Festival in January, actually, of 2020, last year.
Okay.
And it won many of the top awards. The Yi family moves over from California to rural Arkansas, where the father, Jacob, has the American dream. He envisions a plot of land where he could grow produce and sell Korean produce, actually, to vendors.
Right. And so the father, Jacob, he is very enthusiastic and optimistic about his life here in Arkansas.
Right.
And it seems to be his decision completely on his own, not his wife's, of making this big move from California.
Yeah.
And the wife and mother of their two children, she seems very disappointed when she sees this mobile home in rural Arkansas, middle of nowhere. She seems pretty underwhelmed and very concerned and worried about their future, their financial stability, and just living here.
Yeah, and so what they plan on doing is inviting Sunja, the grandma, from Korea in order to take care of the kids and be around when the parents are working at the chicken farm.
There's some tension between the Korean grandmother, Sunja, and the grandchild, David.
Yeah.
David is, I think, probably born in America.
Yeah.
He's more Americanized.
Speaks fluent.
Right. And he believes that a proper grandma should, bake cookies, know how to cook, kind of be more Americanized. Which, of course, Sunja does not fit into that mold.
At all.
At all. She brings, Korean herbal tea. She brings Korean playing card games that are like gambling.
Yeah.
She curses in Korean.
She's very just boisterous. She says exactly what's on her mind.
Right.
So Sunja also brings something else. Minari seeds. Minari translates to water celery. In fact, they're found in a lot of Korean cuisines and stews, soups. And so she takes the kids to this creek where it looks very uninhabitable. There's dangerous snakes lurking by. It looks very swampy. But she tells the kids that these plants they're like weeds. They are very resilient. They could grow really fast. And anybody could enjoy them and eat them. The poor, the wealthy, it doesn't matter. It's available to everyone.
And there's major symbolism in this movie. The Minari plant is symbolic of the Yi family itself. Like the plant, the Yi family finds themselves in a new environment. They're trying to make things work. They're from a different land.
Yeah.
And also like the plant, this Yi family is resilient and they're going to try to make it work. This is a story about the American dream, that through hard work and sacrifice, anyone could find a way to prosper and succeed. It doesn't matter what social status you're born into. It doesn't matter who you are. There's social mobility, upward mobility.
Yeah.
And it's a realistic depiction of actually being able to attain the American dream.
Oh, absolutely. And as daughters of South Korean immigrants, we could really relate to this story.
I'm just going to rip off the Band-Aid and start with a couple of the negatives with this movie.
Okay.
I honestly had a little trouble connecting with a couple of the characters in this movie, particularly the son, David.
Same here.
There's a scene where David is talking about the grandma, Sunja, and he says, I don't like grandma, she smells weird, she smells like Korea. When he hadn't even been to Korea, so what would that even smell like? And I could tell what they were trying to do is create this conflict and tension between someone that's been Americanized and has been living in America with someone that is freshly just immigrated and has not assimilated to American culture. I could see where that was going, but it just felt a little bit unnatural, a little forced. I can't imagine a kid hating on his grandma that's helping him because she's too Korean for him. Like, it was just...
There was a couple of scenes that were super just in your face, but out of nowhere at the same time that I was kind of confused about. But this is a very predictable storyline because we know where that relationship goes and how it ends throughout the movie.
Yeah, exactly. That was my other negative, is that it's obviously setting up for a compelling ending. So it was a little predictable.
Yeah, and to add to the negative list, because it's not that long, really, the negative list, I thought that there were a little bit too many of these awkward, long pauses where it's supposed to draw that emotion and you could see it from the actor's face and you could see their eyes watering. And to me, I just wasn't emotionally invested enough because there wasn't a build-up to lead to that. It wasn't impactful, those pauses. It just kind of made me like, all right, say what you have to say. Like, he just asked you a question, spit it out. It kind of made me think like that. And I got a little bit of anxiety watching those scenes.
Positives, and this movie had a lot of positives. I thought the cinematography and the musical score were beautiful. I thought it was very well acted, especially a standout performance played by the grandma Sunja's character.
Yeah.
It was portrayed by Youn Yuh-jung.
Yes, she did an excellent job. She actually brought the most laughter and joy into this movie throughout the movie. Her humor just hit the spots. We were laughing every time she said something, I felt like.
Yeah.
I felt like she was the key of keeping this family together, honestly. And she's very likable from beginning, up to the end. She's the reason why this movie was amazing. And I didn't know this before until you told me, but I like this movie especially more now that I've learned that this is a semi-autobiography of the director's life story. You could totally tell from the beginning to end how much emotion and thought and just that heart he put in creating this film. Another thing I liked is I think that symbolism was very clever. It was interesting to compare, and symbolize Minari seeds as this family that's just trying to plant their roots for a better life in a foreign land, right? And so the fact that these Minari seeds could grow anywhere, it's resilient. I also think it's amazing and important that the grandma is the one to plant the seeds. She sacrifices her own life and she comes to this foreign land to at least be the initiator of planting the seeds to protect and invest for her future generations.
I also think the grandma, by planting those seeds, those Korean seeds, the grandma wants to also make sure that this family doesn't forget their roots, doesn't forget their Korean culture and their background. Our take is that if you enjoy a realistic depiction of an immigrant family trying to achieve the American dream, then you should watch it. You should know, though, that it's a slow-burning movie. It's not like Parasite. It's not, action-packed.
Yeah.
But it is a realistic depiction of the strife and struggle that immigrants face.
Absolutely. That wraps up our conversation. Thank you so much for joining this review. If you like this review, please make sure you like and subscribe. We'll be back each week with new reviews. So until next time, friends.
Thanks. Bye.